In this video, I'll further discuss omega-3 fats. There are 3 distinct types of omega-3 fats. And since I cannot pronounce them very well, I will just say their acronym and let you read the names. They include ALA, EPA, and DHA. EPA and DHA are the 2 primary fatty acids found in meats, fish, and supplements. ALA is found sparingly in several different plant-based foods. EPA and DHA exert the biggest effect within your body. The remainder of our omega-3 discussion will revolve around these 2. Making a conscious effort to reduce your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio by increasing the amount of omega-3 rich food you eat may have a positive effect on your appetite, body composition, and body's ability to handle glucose. A study published in the journal Appetite found that providing either 1,300 or 260 milligrams of omega-3 supplementation during the last 2 weeks of an 8-week diet resulted in significantly less hunger as reported by the subjects. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition observed significant improvements in body fat levels and blood cholesterol when pairing omega-3 supplementation with regular aerobic exercise. Researchers split subjects into 4 groups. Each received one of the following combinations of treatment: sunflower oil, which is high in omega-6, sunflower oil plus exercise, omega-3 supplementation, or omega-3 plus exercise. The exercise program consisted of 3 days of brisk walking for 45 minutes each week. The omega-3 plus exercise group showed the greatest improvements in body composition and blood cholesterol levels. Researchers suspected this was related to a shift in fat metabolism in favor of increased breakdown and decreased storage. A study published in Scientific Reports found that eating more omega-3 rich foods to decrease this 6:3 ratio had a positive impact on insulin sensitivity and the body's ability to utilize glucose after a meal. Of course, it's important to keep in mind not all research is perfect, and results may be limited to specific populations. However, the amount of research examining the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids is vast, and results discussed above significant. Next, let's discuss how much you need to eat per day to reap some of the aforementioned benefits. In this video, we'll discuss your omega-3 needs and how supplementation can help you get there. The recommended amount of EPA and DHA varies depending on the source of information. Suggestions can be as general as eat fish twice per week, or as definitive as aiming for a specific number of milligrams of EPA and DHA per day. Here's a list of some of the total omega-3 content among popular food items. But remember, what we're really interested in is the EPA and DHA content, because ALA doesn't exert nearly the same effect. This shifts our focus to meat and fish sources, while still welcoming the nutrient-dense plant sources into our diet with open arms. While you can obtain EPA and DHA from strictly whole food sources, supplements are often the easiest way to get the right dose of these helpful fats consistently. Fish oil pills and cod liver oil are 2 of the more popular options. But be sure to double check the label before buying, as some brands contain low levels of EPA and DHA due to high manufacturing costs. Your choice of brand should contain between 500 and 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA per serving. For optimal absorption, take your omega-3 supplement with a fat-containing meal. For optimal keeping, store in a dark, cool place, such as the refrigerator, to prevent breakdown from light or heat. My recommendation for your daily omega-3 needs: supplement as described each day and eat omega-3 rich foods as often as you can throughout the week. Next, we'll discuss just how much fat you need to be eating in a day. In this video, I'll discuss how much fat you need per day. The American Heart Association recommends that 25 to 35% of your total calories come from fat. That's 50 to 70 grams per day if you're targeting 1,800 calories. Please note, however, that this amount will depend on your individual calorie goals and, of course, your taste preferences. It's also important to pay attention to the amount of each specific type of fat you choose. 3/4 of your fat intake should come from unsaturated fats. The remaining 1/4 should come from saturated fats. And of course, next to nothing should come from trans fats. Rather than tracking fat by the gram, though there's nothing fine with this approach, make your life easier and track fat by the serving. 1 serving of fat contains 15 grams. Common serving sizes include a tablespoon of a healthy oil, 2 tablespoons of your favorite nut or seed butter, and half a medium avocado. For every 3 servings of unsaturated fats you have at least 1 serving of saturated fat. And you can break this serving size down into half serving increments as needed. Although your daily fat goal is flexible, it's important that you do not dip too low because remember, fat, it's essential. Not taking in enough fat can have severe repercussions on your health and exercise performance. We'll talk about that next. In this video, we'll discuss why fat should be reduced first when dieting. Before we discuss why fat should be the first nutrient reduced when trying to lose weight, compared to carbohydrates and protein, let me first reiterate the golden rule of weight change. Weight change is related to the relationship between the calories you eat and the calories you burn. If you eat fewer calories than you burn, you'll lose weight. Conversely, if you eat more calories than you burn, you will gain weight. No magical food, meal timing, or specific amount of fat exists that trumps basic thermodynamics. For starters, fat contains more than twice as many calories per gram as carbohydrates or protein. 1 gram of fat provides 9 calories per gram, whereas 1 gram of carbohydrate or protein provides 4 calories. By reducing fat, you can create a much greater calorie deficit compared to reducing the same number of grams of either carbohydrates or protein. For instance, to reduce your calories by 300, you could reduce carbohydrates by 75 grams or reduce fat by just over 30. You may find that the latter approach leaves you feeling as if you're eating more food and therefore left actually feeling full. Secondly, carbohydrates are your muscle's primary energy source. The greater the intensity of your exercise, the more your body relies on them for fuel. By reducing fats first when seeking weight loss, carbohydrates remain elevated, which means you'll continue to have the fuel you need to train hard and recover well. Lastly, as we will discuss in more detail shortly, your body can withstand a prolonged low-fat diet quite well. However, once carbs dip too low, often below 125 grams for most, your energy, performance, focus, and libido take a massive hit. But what happens when you drop fat too low? We'll discuss that next. In this video, we'll discuss the consequences of eating too little. You can make a greater dent in your daily calories by reducing grams of fat versus grams of carbohydrates or protein. But remember, from our earlier discussion, we talked about the myriad of essential roles that fat plays in the body. Not taking in enough fat can adversely affect hormone production, cell signaling and communication, the menstrual cycle, whole body inflammation, muscle growth and repair, and more. To make sure you avoid these consequences, do not let your total daily fat dip below 10% of your calories, especially for a prolonged period of time. That means aiming for at least 20 grams of fat if you're following an 1,800 calorie per day approach. At the other end of the spectrum, however, lies a dietary approach that encourages a whopping 75% of total calories coming from fat. And guess what? This approach has been shown to have a drastic positive impact on weight loss. Why? Because total calories matter much more than total fat. We'll talk about this approach next. In this video, we'll discuss the ketogenic diet. The purpose of this video is to provide you with accurate information regarding the ketogenic diet. Simply put, it's for your awareness. However, I will also point out characteristics of people who would benefit from this approach. The ketogenic diet is a very high-fat, moderate protein, very low carbohydrate diet that originated as a treatment for epilepsy. A ketogenic diet calorie distribution needs to look as follows: 70 to 75% of calories from fat, 15 to 20% of calories from protein, and 5 to 10% of calories from carbohydrates. The goal of this approach is to rid the body of stored carbohydrates, which forces it to adapt to using fat as its primary fuel source. And since your body has a virtually limitless supply of stored fat, you can greatly reduce your body fat. There are several health benefits associated with the ketogenic approach that are beyond the scope of this video. But some purported benefits include decreased whole body inflammation, decreased appetite, decreased bad cholesterol, increased good cholesterol, and enhanced blood sugar control. If weight loss is your #1 priority and you've struggled with other dietary approaches in the past, this approach may be for you. Also, if you can live without carbohydrates and have a stronger preference for fatty, savory foods, this approach may be for you. However, if you perform in strength or power-based activities, think any form of resistance training or sprinting, this approach may not be for you. And this is due to the limited supply of carbohydrates, which are your muscle's preferred fuel source, especially during these types of exercise. Additionally, if you love carbohydrates and can't imagine a life without them, this approach may not be for you. For more information on how to set up a ketogenic diet and what to expect during the initial transition phase, please download the list of resources found below this video. Next, we'll discuss a very popular source of fat.